The Jaunty mansion had been abandoned for decades, condemned years ago. It was a glorious home in its day. Grandparents told stories of elaborate parties held for local officials and celebrities. There were fine delicacies, expensive wine, and music enjoyed until all hours of the night. Following one particularly loud party, a neighbor by the name of Estian Wolf complained that these events were getting to be a nuisance. He demanded that they be stopped. The owner of the mansion, Rudy, aka the Camel, dismissed his neighbor, exclaiming, "He's just jealous because I don't invite him." Shortly after that encounter, a tragic accident befell Rudy. He came home late one night to find a figure hooded in black standing in the shadows. Rudy thought he must be a thief. The two struggled, but this was no ordinary thief. The headlines the next day read, "Owner of Jaunty Mansion Missing." Traces were blood were found on the living room rug. Rudy was never found. The mansion fell into disrepair and was later condemned. For years to follow, older children, looking to scare their younger siblings, would tell them horror stories about the incident. Tree branches scratching against window panes provided an eerie backdrop for stories that claimed Rudy met his demise when his arms were cut off and his body carried off into the night. Adding to the level of fear, they told the young ones, "He's come back from the dead. His arms replaced with gnarled tree limbs, his hands razor-sharp claws, his eyes glow red with anger. But most disturbing, he now lives in the cellar behind his house." They added to the children's fear by telling them, "When you hear scratching, it's him trying to get in. He searches for his killer." Years later, a group of friends from the neighborhood, who had heard the stories all throughout their childhood, swore one day they would overcome their childhood fears and have a Halloween party in the dilapidated mansion. The event would surely get views for their YouTube channels. So they all agreed, and the party was set. It wasn't hard to break the fragile, rotting boards blocking the back door. The food was bought, decorations were hung, and the cameras were rolling. "Let the party begin!" shrieked Ed with excitement. Bo was a bit nervous when she found a dark spot resembling a blood stain on the living room floor. Ed reassured her, "The old stories aren't true. It's just a water stain." When the bros, Mike and John, arrived, Ed locked the back door from the inside. The party was on its way to being epic. Rubel, Commander Santa, and Euthyrus were enjoying a beverage while the lady stopped the music. "Shh, I hear something," she said quietly. Sylv laughed and replied, "Stop being a weenie. Turn the music back on." "No, really. It sounds like scratching. Someone's trying to get in the back door." Bo looked around, whispered under her voice, "But everyone's already here." John jokingly replied, "Well, except for the dead armless guy." The lady gasped, "What if it's him trying to get in?" Commando, recalling the old stories, replied, "Well, if it is, he's after his killer. That's not any of us." Nick began to sweat. He'd managed to keep his real name a secret. Nick Dan Wolf was the great-grandson of a suspected killer. Who was at the back door? They all wondered with fear. So yeah, guys, who's at the back door? So this was my story for the haunted house competition. I don't even know if they got it in time, but I thought I would just give it a shot. And I like the way it turned out. I thought I would show it to you guys and see what you thought. So creepy dude here is trying to get in the back door. I've got some triggered events going on. I'll turn on the lights here in just a second, but here in the back you've got the little skeleton and the crows and the little trap door, of course, where the creepy man's been living. It's not creepy at all, is it? A little dilapidated porch, and of course there's some lights flickering on and off. And then our little bats. Those are so cute. I like those. So here you can see a little bit closer the triggered events. Got the crow, and then the trap door. And there's some lights flickering on. I had to wait for the sequencer to loop back around. And then we have Mr. Skeleton trying to crawl out of his coffin here. And then the little bats are over here. So that's it for the triggered events in the back. The sequencer is hidden in this box here. So here we are in the daytime. And we got little creepy man going on here. So I thought I would go ahead and try this for the Haunted Mansion contest. I could not hold a candle to the people, you know, that actually won, and they did an amazing job. But I thought it would be fun, you know, just to challenge myself and do something a little bit different, and chance to use a spooky pack. So this is what it looks like during the day. This little spooky man who's trying to get in here, he is, of course, one of the ghouls, and he is a tad short. I realize that, but I had to hide the pole that he is on under the concrete, and then I used the scarecrow outfit to hide the back end that was showing there a little bit. So compared to the door, he is a little short, but he's still creepy nonetheless. But I like him. So we have during the day here, of course, you can see it a little bit better. The triggered events, of course. We've already talked about those, the crows and the little cellar door there. And then we have Mr. Creepy Skeleton here trying to get out of his coffin. And you can see the mist now too. That's kind of hard to see at night also. And here's our cute little bats. And then I hid the sequencer right here. It's on a loop, as I didn't know, you know, if somebody reads this story, I didn't want the, you know, all the lights and everything to go out so you couldn't see them. But yeah, there are some awesome creators that did some really unique things for the contest that I thought were really cool. I'm still learning. I did not do the alpha or any of that, so I'm still fairly new to the game. I didn't play a lot when I first got it, because it was a little bit of a struggle to try to think of what to do. I'm not overly creative either. But in case you're wondering, for the story names, those are just a few of my favorite creators that I watch consistently. I thought it would be cute and a fun thing to do to add them to my story. So I went ahead and did that. I hope they don't mind. Especially, you know, the Stan Wolf ended up being a creepy guy on the back porch. But I think this little mouse is so cute. But yeah, I thought that would be a neat idea to include my fellow creators in my story. So up here we just have, you know, the little spiders, and tried to make it look as dilapidated as I could, you know, with things falling down, and I think that worked out pretty well. The new rubble works fairly well. These are actually the backside of the grave mounds. They kind of make some good rubble also if you turn them upside down. So I like that. And then of course the lightning in the clouds looks, you can really see it during the day. So we have the clouds form, and then it starts to rain, and then we have lightning. Because you have to have lightning with a thunderstorm. So that's pretty much it, guys. I just wanted to show you that. I did the house first, plain by itself with no decoration, and I went ahead and put that on the workshop just for fun and giggles, in case anybody needed that, and then they can decorate it the way they want. And then if anybody wants this one, I'll go ahead and put this one up too. And that's pretty much it. Just wanted to share that with you, and let me know in the comments what you think. If you have any suggestions on my building technique, or I struggle with the roofs a lot, so I'm still working on that. But I do appreciate your comments and any kind of support you drop on the videos. It does help me know where I should go next. If I've been working on scenarios, I know some people like those, or I try to bounce back and forth between those and then the just creations, that sort of stuff. So you can let me know in the comments what you think about all that. That helps me out a lot. And I appreciate you being here and watching. And I hope to see you next time. Have a good day and game on!